yesterday's attacks and other things.
Some say that he does have ties to Muslim extremists. I don't know.
Made in Germany. That's what many of those bombs dropping on Yemen read. In the ongoing Saudi-led war on Yemen, coalition forces rely heavily on German arms and technology. Germany prides itself on its restrictive export policies, which ban arms sales to countries involved in armed conflict. But recent reports show otherwise. In fact, according to an investigation by Germany's international broadcaster Deutsche Welle, the Saudi-led coalition uses German-built weapons and military tech. According to figures by German Economic Affairs Ministry, since early 2019, German arms manufacturers exported over $1.1 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates and other countries involved in the war on Yemen as part of the Saudi-led alliance. Egypt also remains a major buyer of German military and naval equipment. The country recently purchased a frigate and submarine from Germany's ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems. Egypt has dispatched warships to join the Saudi-led Yemen. Just last year in 2019, Germany's government approved arms exports worth over 800 million euros to Egypt. Germany is seemingly a part of an alliance of countries spearheaded by Saudi Arabia and includes the US, France, UK, UAE, Egypt, Bahrain and Sudan, among others. Bahrain, Jordan and Kuwait, which have all participated in airstrikes by the Saudi-led coalition, are also customers of German arms manufacturers. Germany provides the coalition with battleships, combat jets, tanks, trucks, refueling aircrafts and armored vehicles, according to Germany's international broadcaster Deutsche Welle. These new revelations secretly selling arms to Yemen's enemies come after Berlin promised it would stop arms exports to countries involved in the ongoing war in Yemen. Following the killing of dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in October 2018, Germany adopted a moratorium on arms exports to Saudi Arabia that November. Back in January of 2018, Stefan Seibert, a spokesperson for German Chancellor Angela Merkel, said in a tweet that, to be more precise, the federal government is currently not making a decision on arms export licenses that is inconsistent with the exploratory results. Right after his tweet, Amnesty International tweeted, "Germany halts arms exports to parties to the conflict in Yemen. US, UK, France and all other states selling arms to the Saudi-led coalition must halt arms sales now." But in December of that year, Germany ruled out laws to prevent circumventing Saudi arms export ban.
Und zwar geht es das Thema der ausgesetzten Waffenexporte nach Saudi-Arabien. Da gibt es nach Recherchen des Stern, verzeihen Sie mir, falls die Frage bereits gestellt wurde, da gibt es nach Recherchen des Stern, also die Firma Rheinmetall, die über Joint Venture in Italien und Südafrika weiterhin Waffen nach Saudi-Arabien liefert, und da würde ich gerne eine Stellungnahme der Regierung.
The journalist was asking Maria Adeber, Foreign Office at the time, to clarify, but apparently she just couldn't. Tanya Alemany, spokesperson for the German Ministry of Economic Affairs, said that Germany had no control of companies with branches or business units in other countries.
Unsere Rüstungsexportkontrolle läuft. Wenn eine Firma sich in unserem Staatsgebiet befindet, unterliegt sie auch den deutschen Regelungen zur Rüstungsexportkontrolle. Wenn eine Firma einem anderen Staatsgebiet unterliegt, zum Beispiel Italien oder auch Südafrika, unterliegt sie den Gegebenheiten dort. Das ist bei Mindestlohnregelungen und Umweltschutzstandards nicht anders wie bei der Rüstungskontrolle.
Apparently, that's exactly what happened. German companies took advantage of legal loopholes that were never closed from its 2018 export to those countries involved in the brutal war against Yemen. The figures from the German Economic Affairs Ministry show that armored all-terrain vehicles were exported to Saudi Arabia nonetheless. German companies, many of them tied to the German military, have a history of controversial weapons exports. In May of 2018, employees from the German arms manufacturer Heckler & Koch were charged with illegally exporting 15 shipments of weapons between 2006 and 2009, breaching both Germany's War Weapons Control Act and the Foreign Trade Act. The weapons, which included automatic assault rifles, especially violent parts of Mexico, in the hands of drug cartels. On the streets of Germany, protests against the sale of weapons were the scene right before the global COVID-19 pandemic. In September of 2019, hundreds of anti-war activists rallied outside a munitions factory operated by the German arms manufacturer Rheinmetall in the lower Saxon village of Unterlüß, calling on the corporation to disarm. Rheinmetall is headquartered in Düsseldorf, Germany. It was founded in 1889 and is a publicly traded company. Just in 2019, it earned 25 billion euros in revenues from its weapon sales.
Die deutschen Waffenexporteinschränkungen können ganz leicht umgangen werden. Das macht auch Rheinmetall. Die haben in Italien, auf Sardinien genauer gesagt, und in Südafrika eigene Fabriken, die unter anderen Namen laufen, und dort werden Bomben und auch ganze Waffenfabriken hergestellt und von dort aus dann exportiert. Insofern brauchen die sich an deutsche Gesetze gar nicht zu halten.
With or without loopholes, companies are still being allowed to sell weapons to Saudi Arabia via an official approval from the German government. The German government approved 2 arms sales to Saudi Arabia in the first 2019, worth a total of $915,817, according to the Germany Economic Ministry. In the equivalent period of 2018, Saudi Arabia was Germany's 3rd biggest customer, after Algeria and the United States, mainly buying naval boats. Chancellor Angela Merkel's administration approved 5 arms sales to Saudi Arabia from January to June 2018, worth a total of $200 million. In 2018, Saudi Arabia was Germany's top weapons importers. But in 2019, Saudi Arabia disappeared from the top list of importers of German weapons, and instead, Egypt, which is also a part of it, took its spot. Observers say Egypt was replaced by Saudi Arabia. It most likely uses Saudi funds to purchase the weapons and then siphons them off to Saudi Arabia, or it uses them itself against Yemen. Germany had to do something about this apparently, so it totally banned exports of Saudi Arabia in November. Saudi Arabia admitted that the decision made no difference anyways, as it has other sources of weapons. Of course, this is not the first ban on Saudi Arabia's purchasing of German weapons by Berlin. It is the 3rd time since 2018. In 2019, German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said that he would extend its ban on arms sales to Saudi Arabia because of the conflict in Yemen.
Wir sind der Auffassung, dass der Jemenkrieg so schnell wie möglich einem Ende zugeführt werden muss. Und wir haben uns aus dem Grunde entschieden, auch im Laufe dieses Monats keine Rüstungsgüter an die Konfliktparteien zu liefern.
More than 100,000 people have been killed in the war on Yemen, according to armed conflict location and event data. According to the UN's World Food Programme, 24 million Yemenis are in need of humanitarian assistance, while 20 million are insecure. The UN calls it the worst humanitarian disaster on earth, and yet Germany and its Western partners, who preach human rights day and night, are fueling the war by their silence and, worst off, selling weapons to the same culprits in a war the Saudi-led coalition can't win.